All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back to the channel. Now, Conor sent a very ill-advised tweet last night, which has subsequently been deleted, but we're going to talk about it. I would imagine a lot of you have probably seen it in your text messages from people or whatever. I mean, it's, I didn't believe that he actually wrote it, and then I looked it up, and it's like, whoa, he really did write that. Yikes. And he wrote it to Khabib, and he wrote it in response to something that Khabib said after the Dustin Poirier and Conor fight, 2 weeks ago or whatnot. Now, I'm going to go over all of it, and then I'm going to go over what Conor was probably thinking when he did it and how he got there, etc. But the bottom line is you can't say things like this, okay? Like you can't say that. You can't say a thing like this, right? Now, so what Khabib said after the fight was good always defeats evil, okay? That's what he said about Dustin and Conor. Now, Conor responded with, so COVID good, father evil? That's what he wrote last night. So that's what he said. Now, we are going to go over this in more detail. Here's my position, though. You can't talk about dead parents, man. And you certainly can't talk about parents that have died a year ago, right? Still real fresh. And, I mean, you can't talk about them at all. You can't talk about dead parents, man. That's just not a thing you do. Keep kids out of it. Keep parents that are dead out of it. Keep siblings that are dead out. Anybody, and deceased family members, come on, man. Leave it alone. That is not a... That's not a piece that's on the rivalry board that you can play. That's not a chess piece that you can play. And obviously he deleted it because I'm sure he thought better of it when a single person who knows him read it was like, dude, you got to take that down, man. Come on. Or he wrote it when he was really mad. But here's the deal. This is the thing that I do know about, okay? As many of you who watch my channel consistently can certainly testify to. If you read a handful of negative comments consecutively, it's jarring. Especially if you're wired to kind of explode Conor for sure is, and I definitely am. Jesse on Fire. That is not a random, a random name. There's no other element. Some people are water, some people are earth, some people are air, some people are fire. I am built 100% out of fire. So, if I read 7 or 8, whatever, comments in a row, they're like, you're an idiot. I explode to the point where I'll explode in the comments, come up here, record a video, post it, and then later be like, oh my God, what was I doing? Look at this red face. It happens. I think Conor's wired very similar to me in that regard. But okay, look, I wouldn't have said that, I don't think. I've never been beaten up by another man in front of the whole world, so I can't really put myself in a position to understand what that would feel like. But I can guarantee you that Conor read a lot of shit, right? He probably is just now getting caught up on Twitter. He probably, I think he was just he went to the Justin Bieber concert, whatever, gets home. He might even be on painkillers because of his leg, which is understandable. His leg snapped in half, a lot of pain there. And he's sitting up late at night and he's scrolling through Twitter and he's reading a lot of shit, man. A lot of people saying a lot of shit. And then he gets to one from a person who he had a rivalry with that, in his mind, he probably thought, well, I was hyping the fight. I don't see why there's any reason that this should be a real blood feud. But, and then he beat me up, right? Actually, you know what? No, no. Conor instigated that rivalry to make it nasty. He doesn't get a pass for that. So it is a rivalry that he instigated and continued to instigate for sure. But it is nonetheless a rival. And after Conor trained his balls off, went in there and took a really gnarly injury. In his mind, he didn't lose the fight. His leg broke. I would imagine he read that as Khabib kicking him while he was down. Not to mention, Khabib called him evil, right? Khabib literally publicly called Conor evil. Look, I'm sure the same thing. Khabib actually looks at it that way. I've talked about this before. If you want to really understand the way that Khabib and the people from Dagestan view Conor, you have to go watch Mixed Molly's content about watch Mixed Molly Wapri, Rise of a Savage about Khabib, then watch Fire and Ice about the rivalry between Conor and Khabib, and then watch Culture Clash. Watch those 3 videos consecutively, and you will have an understanding of that rivalry beyond your wildest dreams. And that is actually how those guys view Conor. It's Conor's not just an individual. He is an individual to them, but their way of life is fundamentally wired opposite to that, right? You understand how much money Khabib has? You have any idea how hard Khabib could floss if he wanted to? He doesn't floss. He lives the exact opposite way as a wealthy person from Conor. That's like, you know, and he's respectful to his opponents and all that. I mean, it's literally like Conor is the embodiment of everything that they do not respect over there. So Conor is the perfect villain, and to them, they live, you know, and look, I'm not pretending to understand their way of life, you know what, I'm not even gonna say what I was gonna say. I was just gonna say, I think that in certain terms, there are black and white certainties over there that they feel okay saying like, that's evil right there. And maybe they're right, I don't know. I have no idea. I've actually had thoughts like that myself in weird situations where I would look around at where I was like, and I could kind of I actually could understand viewing the environment that I was in as like, I could understand how this would look if you came from a different part of the world, and this would look insane. Like this would look insane. This would look evil, you know? If you come from like a super conservative environment where you grew up, where it's like, this is how we live, you know, Spartan lifestyle. Everybody's covered. We go, we train, we go to, you know, we go pray. We do like, this is our life. And then you go to some show. It was a small MMA show that I was at. It's called Total Combat in San Diego. And it was a long time ago. It was all this like fire and stuff. And there were like these half naked girls that were dancing around the octagon. And I just had this like epiphany where I was like, man, what would this look like to them? And it's like, this would look like a circus in hell, you know? And like, I think Conor really, that is exactly what they see when they look at him. So, but nonetheless, Conor's a human being, man. And Khabib called him evil. You know what I mean? You're not going to take that personally. Someone calls you evil and you're like, are you fucking serious? Like if you're Conor, you're like, I'm evil because I hyped a fight, because I created so much hype for our fight that it turned you into the biggest star in the world. I'm evil. I'm evil. I just donated $500,000 to the boys club in Louisiana. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Like, but I'm evil? Like, come on, dude. So he probably at that moment was like, well, I guess everything's on the table. I mean, if I'm evil, then, you know, maybe I'll try to poke a hole in your logic by, you know, trying to go right in the heart, which was not a good decision. Just not a good decision. How'd you think? I mean, if you were writing directly to Khabib, it still would have been very poor taste. But you're going to throw that out in the public forum? How on earth do you think that people are going to read that, dude? They're going to read it exactly like I read it, which was like, you want to know what I said when someone sent it to me? I was like, did you actually see that tweet? Are you positive he tweeted that? Because like, I thought like someone must have doctored this. There's no way he would have written that, you know? Now, it's possible that he was just trying to poke a hole in his logic. He's like, well, if good always defeats evil, I mean, so this is good and this is evil. Again, sounds like something someone late at night who may or may not be on prescribed painkillers for a broken leg might have thought, and then, you know, in the morning been like, whoa, that was a very poor decision. Delete, you know? But, yeah, I mean, if you actually can truly understand people and be empathetic, put yourself in Conor's position, man, you know? I mean, like I said, I would never write that. It's not excusable, but at least you can understand why you would write a thing like that. You know, he reads 1,000 comments in a row. They're like, this guy's the biggest piece of shit on earth. Fuck this guy. I wish both his legs broke. Fuck Conor. He's done. I hope he never comes back. Fuck you. Fuck you. If you've never been in the position where people are writing shit like that to you, you don't understand, dude. Like, you can't. Imagine how you'd feel if someone said that to your face. It's not that different, dude. When people are writing it to you, you're like, oh, yeah? You know, it's like a skill to be able to be like, okay, you know, but I wonder what you would do if we were in the same room. Either be quiet or ask me for a picture, you know? Fuck you. But at the same time, you know, it wears on you. So Conor certainly doesn't get a pass. He doesn't get a pass. But at the very least, I kind of understand how he would get mad enough to write an insane thing like that, because that is an insane thing, dude. Parents and kids, not on the table for talk. His dad's on the table for talk when he's his coach. He's definitely not on the table as a jab as a recently deceased family member, you know? Anyway, if you like the content, subscribe and ring the bell. That is what I got. Peace.